Okay. Hello, y'all. My name is Yusuf Lawal. I'm a Spring 18 initiator of the London Kappa chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And today, we're going to continue our series, our Successful Black Family series. And today, we're going to touch on building generational wealth. Generational wealth is also called legacy wealth or family wealth, something you pass down from one generation to another. We're going to be collaborating with our brother here, brother Devon. Um, he also he's also business owner. So we also create a space where like our students can be educated on what generational wealth is and how to achieve it and how to pass it down successfully from one generation to another. So I hope to pass the mic to brother Devon and take it on. Thank you.
Brother Wall, much appreciated. Hopefully, we can have a nice, engaging conversation here. I do have a presentation deck, plenty of talking points, but if anyone has their own wisdom that they want to sprinkle in here, if anyone wants to participate in the active kind of activities we have going on, whether you're here live or you're in the recording, feel free to be active. Just so I know y'all are alive and well, can y'all give me like a thumbs up emoji, a clap emoji, something so I know you're there? Boom, we got one person. Jalen's always holding it down. Appreciate it. And you got on the self-love sweatsuit. Double appreciate you for sure. All right, let's get into it. So for the folks that may not know me, my name is Devon Travell, also known as Devon T. Walker, proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated by way of the Insane Lambda Kappa chapter. Over to the far left-hand corner, that is one of the most notable pictures I took freshman year at UC Davis. That's me, my queen in the middle. At time we were just friends, but I changed that. And then we got Corey Hobbs to the left, who is also a proud business owner. We start our own business, as Brother Yusuf said earlier. The first business we started was True Health Forever. Started that right after graduating from college, and then the second business we started was Play Black Wall Street. That's kind of like a natural evolution of True Health Forever. And yeah, we just been going strong ever since about 2017, 2016. Myself and the Queen are part of the Royal Blue and White family. So we're both repping LK and Zeta Nu respectively. And then we always love to travel as much as possible with each other. First off, the Queen will tell you for sure, just us. But in addition to that, whenever we can travel with the squad, we've been to Paris with the team, England, Thailand, what's it called, Amsterdam, going to Ghana this year. So we always love to travel, and that's one of our kind of necessities in wealth, is we need to be able to travel when we want to travel in order to deem ourselves as healthy. All right, so wanted to give a quick little, just so y'all know who you're talking to, and then now we can get into the overview of today. We're gonna define what wealth is to you. Right, I just kind of gave you a little sneak peek that wealth to me is being able to travel whenever I want, being able to be with the squad, being able to have time, dedicated time with the Queen, and of course there's other things as well, but those are the few things for me that define what wealth is. But for you, you can put it in the chat whenever you want, or put it in the comments if you're watching the recording. What is wealth to you? It can be a money sign, right? It can be a certain amount per month, a certain amount per year. It can be the freedom to be able to do a certain thing. But go ahead and put it inside the chat or in the comments what wealth is to you. Number two, we're going to go over a budget and kind of how you can budget with your goal in mind. Was having a conversation with some folks before, and they were talking about like, hey, I'm trying to buy a house, I'm trying to buy two homes, I'm trying to live free. And it's like, okay, we can start planning and budgeting for all that stuff today. That way 3 years from now we can just execute. Number three is we're going to talk about the 4 ways to grow wealth. There's probably more than 4 ways, to be honest with you, but these are like the 4 big bucket ways that you can grow wealth that we've defined. And then number four, lastly, we're going to make sure that y'all know how to pass down your wealth, because it'll be a tragedy if you build all this crazy wealth and then you're not able to pass it down to your kids or pass it down to your loved ones, you got to go to probate court. I don't want that for any of your futures. All right. So before I go on, I saw a little bit of stuff in the chat. Let me see what's popping. All right. Having financial freedom, allowing my money to work for me. Love that. Financially free, fire. Healthy family. Y'all know I like that. Healthy family, low stress. Ooh, that's a good one. And then stability, right? Not having to always worry about what's going to happen next month. Now, yeah, I like that. A lot of money, assets, healthy life, and happy family. I like the sprinkle of happiness and emotions in there for sure. All right. Cool. So as we keep on going, feel free to keep on participating in the chat. Unmute yourself. I won't think you're rude if you try to cut me off and teach me something or ask a question. All that's good. So I want to start off with the mental. All right, we're going to get into some for sure like tactical steps that y'all can be taking, but the wealthy mindset is kind of the first thing you need to make sure you commit to on this long road of legacy wealth, of generational wealth, and being able to make sure you pass down the wealth mindset to your kids as soon as they're born. So they already start off better than we started because their mindset is there, right? So this is an affirmation. If we can have somebody, volunteer after I maybe go through it, feel free. You can volunteer and fill in the blanks for these affirmations yourself. But when I am wealthy, I am happy. I am stress-free. I am my best self, right? Whatever it means to you. When I'm wealthy, I am fill in the blank. When I am wealthy, I feel stress-free. I feel energetic. I feel godly. I feel like a superhero, whatever it is for you. How do you feel when you are wealthy? When I'm wealthy, I'm able to do what I want. I'm able to travel around the world when I want to. I'm able to afford organic and healthy food to fuel my body to be its best self, right? Wealth is important to me because growing up, I didn't have it. Wealth is important to me because I want to make sure my kids have everything they need to be successful and more, right? Why is wealth actually important to you? What is your why? To achieve wealth, I'm willing to miss out on social events that are purely social. To achieve wealth, I'm willing to fast every day for breakfast, so I save that $7 per day. To achieve wealth, I'm willing to go ahead and fill in the blank and say what you're willing to do in order to achieve that wealth. To achieve wealth, I am not, very equally important to set your boundaries, y'all. I am not willing to exploit my body or the body of loved ones. I am not willing to sell out the culture or sell out my own personal values. And that line will be tested, y'all. As you trying to pursue wealth, as people put money inside your pockets or try to put money, try to put partnerships, that line will for sure be tested. So you want to draw that line firmly in the concrete on your journey. Then lastly, when I earn X amount of dollars per month, I will be wealthy. When I earn $10,000 per month, $40,000 per month, $1 million per month, whatever. I'm not trying to limit your goals and your dreams, whatever that number is for you, you go ahead and put that in there. All right. Now, do we have a volunteer that would like to say their wealth affirmations?
I'll say it.
There we go. Appreciate you.
When I am wealthy, I am content. When I am wealthy, I feel amazing. When I am wealthy, I am able to do whatever I want.
Yep.
Wealth is important to me because I never really had it when I was growing up. Didn't have all the things that I wanted to. To achieve wealth, I'm willing to do the unimaginable. To achieve wealth, I'm not able to slave. When I earn at minimum $4,000 a month, I will be wealthy.
Let's give it up for Brother Tremaine. There we go. Appreciate the courage. Appreciate the vision too. There it is. Before you completely mute yourself again, how did that feel? Did it feel awkward? Did it feel okay, powerful? How that feel for you?
I felt very poetic.
Yep.
Poetic. Okay, I see you. Nice. All right. So if there's any other volunteers, and throughout this thing, there'll be more opportunities to volunteer. Feel free to jump at it. Before we continue, anyone else feeling excited to do this? Anyone else want to be poetic for a second? Go ahead, Yusuf.
So when I'm wealthy, I am powerful.
Mm,
When I'm wealthy, I feel accomplished.
mm.
When I'm wealthy, I'm able to just one thing.
However many you want.
I'm able to travel and afford everything I want.
Mm,
Wealth is important to me because I would like to like continue. I would like to give my children, pass it down to my children.
mm,
To achieve wealth, I'm willing to sacrifice all my time towards it. To achieve wealth, I'm not willing to I'm not willing to drop my friends or my family.
mm.
Yeah, when I earn like like 2,000 a week. Oh wait, per month. Okay, when I earn like maybe like 8,000 per month, I will be wealthy.
There it is. Let's give it up for brother Yusuf. Yes, sir. Oh, don't mute yourself yet. You know I gotta ask the follow-up question.
Right.
Yeah, I saw you going for it. All right, how did that feel? Honest opinion. Did it feel awkward? Did it feel powerful? Did it feel poetic?
Um, it felt like I can actually do these things.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's doable.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, words are powerful, y'all. So I put in a document that has these as well in it and a lot of other activities. Highly encourage you to go ahead and write your affirmations in or type your affirmations in, say them out loud, because the more you say, that things are going to happen, the more the universe and other realities will actually make it happen. Law of attraction. So appreciate you, Brother Tremaine and Brother Yusuf, for volunteering. All right, let's get back to it. Mindset is very important, but equally as important is tactical things, right? Things that you can implement today, a week from now, 2 years from now. So that's now where we're going to hop into. Has anyone heard of the 50-30-20 rule? Oh, Jalen, it's time to preach. Go ahead.
The 50-30-20, 50-30-20 rule that I've heard is, I don't remember exactly which one is which, if I'm thinking correctly, but I think it's like you live off 50, you save something, I don't remember what the other one is.
Yep,
But yeah, or like invest something like that. I've heard of it. I'm not an expert in it.
Yeah, all good. I got your back. But that is basically right. It is a algorithm or like a setup of how you can use your income for your needs, your wants, and your freedom. Highly encourage you. Like I was kind of anti-budget when I was in college. Like I would get refund checks and then they would disappear. So I have a feeling if I would have budgeted, I would have been able to save those refund checks a little bit better, bought a house a little bit sooner, do other things. But I was living that life. So highly encourage you, set up your 50-30-20 rule. This is 50% of your income after taxes goes towards your needs. And for the sake of college students, like y'all can lump in your grants, your scholarships, your financial aid, your loan stuff, like all of that is income. As soon as it gets dispersed to you, it's now income. So you should treat it as if it is income. So 50% goes towards your needs. That's rent, mortgage, utilities. You can add your phone in there because I know the phone is almost a necessity at this point. Any type of insurance you need, water, food, all of that should only be 50% of your check. If you're using more than 50%, especially if you're not a student anymore, right? Now you might be in a little bit of trouble on how you can prepare for the future. 30% of your income should be going towards your wants. So this is Hulu and Netflix, your Disney Plus. This is your travel, right? How often you go to Vegas, how often you go to Miami, how often you go to Thailand, all that stuff. Your fashion. I know Rare got a lot of good stuff coming out, but we can only spend so much Rare dollars every single month. We got to make sure we're budgeting only 30% that can go towards those things. Subscriptions, eating out, Other hobbies that you might have that cost money should only take up 30% of your income. And then the last 20%, some people call it savings, like Jalen was saying earlier. I call it your freedom fund, right? So it can go towards saving, it can go towards paying off debt, it can go towards investing, it can go towards your buying your first house, but you should have some type of set goal on this freedom fund, right? Again, whether it's paying off debt or buying a house, and then you're constantly saving 20% every single month on autopilot. Set it inside of your account and just let it go. Don't even think about it. And then as soon as your account hits 15,000, buy that house. As soon as your account hits 5,000, go on that international trip. As soon as your account hits 2,000, go ahead and start that business you've always wanted to start, right? So have some purpose for those. Questions on crafting the budget before we keep it pushing. Go ahead, Don. No, okay. Any other questions on crafting the budget? Cool. All good. This is probably, it's kind of important during college, but I know for me personally, I wasn't making crazy money to really be able to really budget like that, but still budget. If you can squeeze in a freedom fund, that's a dope thing to be able to do during college. If you can't, just make sure you're managing your needs and your wants as best as possible and not just spending emotionally or spending without thinking and planning for it. Now, some specific college reminders. Number one, how many of y'all have checked your pay stub to see how much taxes you're paying? Don't look like that, Jai. don't look like that, bro. How many of y'all have checked your income statement, your paychecks, right? And you're able to see how much taxes you're paying for federal, how much taxes you're paying for state, all that good stuff. Medicare. Nobody. Okay, so something I learned.
Oh, sorry. I haven't checked where it's going, but I do calculate how much I'm supposed to technically get per hour and how much I actually get. So I see how much they're taking out of my check.
Gotcha. You see how much? Okay. I see you paying attention. I appreciate you, say Jalen. So something I learned sophomore year, I believe in college, maybe going into junior year, is if you're making less than 10,000, I think it's actually less than $12,000, you shouldn't be paying federal taxes. So literally it's coming out of your check. And if you never file taxes, which a lot of college students don't file because they're under their parents and all that good stuff, understand. But if you don't file, you never get that tax return that was owed to you. And that can be $1,000 a year. That can be 2,000 depending on how many jobs you're working. And if you can pocket an extra $1,000, that can make a difference every year in college. That's $4,000, maybe 10,000 that's now in your pocket when you're graduating. So highly encourage you. What's up, brother Kale? I just made a rare reference too. You're a little too late for the rare reference, but maybe it'll come back again. But if you have a job, if you have two jobs and you know you make $12,000 or less, highly encourage you to still file your taxes. You can have deductions. If you're a business owner, you can add those deductions in and your tax refund is about to be nice. All right. Again, I didn't learn this until about junior year, but that little extra money went a long way, AKA that's how I bought my first car. All right. Keep it going. Something else. If you qualify for work study, you automatically qualify for EBT. All right. That's something I learned sophomore year. And I know some of us may come from families that were already on EBT, or there's some type of stigma around EBT. Get rid of that as soon as possible. Get that mindset out of your mind, because literally most of the folks that are on EBT don't look like us. And when they use it, and I've seen them in the store, they're fine. They're swiping, they're doing their thing. But when I used to use it, I was like, yeah, here you go. Here's my card. All right. Don't draw too much attention. But that was $150 to $200 a month I saved because I didn't need to buy groceries, because all the groceries were swiped on EBT. So again, all these little things add up. If you save $1,000 or $2,000 per year in your taxes, that's in your pocket. If you're saving $200 a month in groceries. That's $2,400 at the end of the month in your pocket. So now that's $4,000 per year that you just got out of literally thin air. All right, let's keep it going. Who is claiming you on your taxes? How many of y'all, your parents claim you on the taxes? No shame. There we go. I see you. I see one. Okay, I saw at least one. So if your parents are claiming you, dope, you can get them a little bit more money back. And then hopefully, you know, if mom or dad are getting a little extra money back, they can slide a little bit your way too. But there's the American Opportunity Tax Credit. Everything that you pay for education, tuition, your laptop, your AirPods, books, if you buy some Rare X stuff and somehow you're able to say it's for educational purposes because you're an intern for Rare X. So all those things can be added up and now you can get an American Opportunity Tax Credit back, which is a refund on your taxes. Okay. This can be anywhere from $2,000 back to $5,000 back. So highly encourage you, look into this tax credit. It's all going to depend on how much your parents are kind of making as well, but look into the tax credit and see how you can get funds back. Number 4, right? The first 3 were really tactical things on how you can put more money in your pocket. Because the more money you can put in your pocket, the more you can use out in the real world, whether it's a job or anything else. Number 4, start saving for a house now. A lot of us, I know, like we have the vision. How many of y'all want to buy a house? Let me just get that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. All right. So at least 4 of y'all are trying to buy a house. Start saving now. That way, by the time you graduate, maybe 1 year after you graduate, you can go ahead and buy that house. You only need 3% down to get your first real estate property. So if it's I'm trying to think of a round number that's actually realistic, but like 500,000, I feel like will get you a house in most parts of California. Not LA, not Oakland, but Sacramento, you can get a house for 500,000 in Sacramento. Davis might be a little rough for you depending on where it's at. Dixon, you can get a house for 500,000 in Dixon. All right. So 500,000, 10% of 500,000 is 50,000. 30% of 50,000 is about 1650, right? 16,500. So if you can save $16,500, you can buy a $500,000 house. I just showed you how you can earn $4,000 per year in college. So if you would have started this freshman year, 4 years later, you would have had literally $16,000 in the bank. Boom, you could have bought your first house. All right. So even though maybe, you know, this is stuff that maybe y'all aren't be able to fully take care of because maybe you're a junior, maybe you're a senior, it's still stuff that you can apply and tell your younger siblings or tell other friends so that they can do it because you weren't able to. Then lastly, number 5 is build your credit now. If you have a credit card, you know, that's a good way to, you know, swipe little things that you can pay off immediately. If you have a card, make your card payments, make sure it's in your name. If you have a phone bill, try to get the phone bill in your name. If you're paying utilities for the entire house, you get the utilities in your name, and all of that stuff will start building up your credit. That way, when you go off and you're trying to buy your house, you have a 720 credit score, you have a 780 credit score, and you have the 16th down for the payment. All right. So let me pause there. I know that was a little bit of information. Let's take a pause. Questions on the reminders for college or extra nuggets that folks want to give out. No questions, no extra nuggets. Cool. We can hop right back into it. All right, so ways to build wealth. And this is not the end all be all. This is just the ways that I feel comfortable with. There's definitely other ways that you can do it, but these are the most popular. You got a question or some wisdom, Trevor?
Oh, no.
Okay, all good. So number 1, start a business. And the example that we have right now is for a podcast or for a YouTube channel, because y'all can start those for free, but the business you can start for free can still get you the tax benefits needed. And one of the dope reasons why you want to start a business, even if you're working a 9 to 5, is because if you have business expenses like a business phone, internet, a business laptop, AirPods, you go on business retreats, you eat meals in the business, all that stuff you can deduct from your 9 to 5 income, and then that lowers your overall tax rate. So even if you're not, a 100% entrepreneur, still think about starting a legitimate business. That way you can take advantage of the tax benefits. But 7 steps to starting your podcast or YouTube channel. I'm gonna zoom through these so we have enough time for questions. One is, first, define your audience or topic, right? Who are you talking to and what is it that you are talking about? Number 2, go ahead and name that brand, whether it is Anomaly, whether it is Sincerely Jalen, whether it is Rare X, whether it is, I know we got a lot of brands on here. I'm trying to show love to everyone's on here. Oh no, what is John A's? Is it not Freckle? So someone help me out. It's Freckle something. Is it straight Freckle?
Freckle Cosmetics.
There it is. You better rep your brand, Freckle Cosmetics, for sure. So whatever it is, have that powerful brand that people know you by. Launch your podcast on Anchor. Anchor app is free. You can start your podcast there, and it can be distributed to all music platforms, again, for free. And you can add ads in there, and you can already generate revenue off of, again, something you started for the free. Number 4 is go ahead and create your social media or your website. This can be free if you use Weebly or Wix sometimes, or you can go to a Shopify or some other paid for $29 and up per month. The hardest part, John knows, recording and promoting the podcast, right? So it's relatively easy to get started, but having that consistency, keeping going and promoting your podcast can definitely be a struggle. Number 6 is going ahead and selling some merchandise or getting some sponsors. Again, we got a lot of brands on here that may be willing to sponsor a podcast or a YouTube channel, or you can reach out to some bigger brands or some brands that may have more deals and opportunities for you. But go ahead and sell your own personal merchandise or reach out to some sponsors to see how you can partner up. And then 7, get a business structure. Well, go ahead, Marco. No. 7 is business structure. So this is the easiest way, is a sole proprietor. Literally, as soon as you do any type of business as a person, you are now a sole proprietor business. Pretty easy to get started. One level above that is an LLC, limited liability company or corporation. You can do that by easy filing online with the California Secretary of State, or you can do a corporation if you're trying to do some big moves or raise capital, sell shares, all that good stuff, which I don't think a podcast is going to do that. All right. So start your business. Any questions on starting your business? For the entrepreneurs that are in here, what was the hardest part of you starting your business, right? Whether it's starting your business or making the business profitable. But for other folks that may be thinking about starting their business, what should they look out for as some hard parts?
I think the hardest part for me was just actually doing it. I think everything's available. It's more so just taking that first step. That's like the hardest part, to be honest.
Facts. Thank you, Jai. Any other words?
I think just defining and building, like you said, your business structure. I know for myself, my biggest issue is it's like I hate asking for money, and I know it's not asking for money, but some people really try to give you a hard time, and especially like for service-based businesses where it's not just like you have a single product. People love to try to negotiate you out of your rates.
Facts.
And I'm very much someone that is just, okay, we'll work with you, but it's like, no, your time and your effort and your energy has a price, and you don't need to devalue yourself to get a customer, because if they won't pay for it, someone else will. So still working on it, but that's kind of my biggest thing.
Yeah, that's a
Everyone
bar
has
right
reason why
there.
you should do it for free.
That's a bar right there. I still struggle with that because I love doing this stuff so much. So if I have opportunity to do it for free, I'll do it. But the queen's always like, did you get a check? Do you want me to send them an invoice? So yeah, good point, Jalen. Anything else before we move on for our entrepreneurs on here? Any other nuggets you want to share? Cool. Let's keep it going. Oh, go ahead.
So like, I mean, once you're in the business, like, how do you attract like sponsors and all that? Like, what are the ways that work for you?
Great question. So the easiest way is one, you need to have a set brand or brand identity, right? So for Play Black Wall Street, education, health, Black excellence. That's kind of like our core value. So when we're able to reach out to other sponsors or partners, they know this is what they can expect from our brand and they can align their own brand with that. For True Health Forever, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's holistic health. It is health and wealth. So we're reaching out to different brands. Like we've partnered with Rare X before with True Health Forever. We partnered with Rare X on Dream Catchers, a documentary series, and it all kind of aligns with the brand of both for both of us. So I would say first, establish what your brand identity is. That way you know who to reach out to, and then reach out to the appropriate people so that the partnership makes sense.
Got it. Thank you.
Sir. Okay, so keeping it going. This is the steps that I give for a lot of high school students before they go off to college, but you can still use some of these steps now. If you're planning on going off to grad school, you can still use some of these steps. If you're planning on, going to get your first job in a certain location, you can still use these steps. So first, it's what are your top 5 colleges? And you can replace that with what are the top 5 destinations you want to live, or the top 5 colleges you're applying to for grad school, but we need a geographic location. After we get a location, how much is a house, or better yet, how much is a duplex, triplex, or quadplex in that city? You can own up to 4 units within one roof as long as, or with a FHA loan, as long as, again, there's only 4 units. Anything over that will be commercial, but if you have the 3%, it can work for a 4 unit. So highly suggest you try to do a duplex to a quadplex. Number 3 is begin to save 5% of the total house cost. Now, you may be thinking, Devon, you said you only need 3% down. Why do I need 5%? That's a great question. So you want to have a little bit of wiggle room for earnest costs, for any type of repairs that you might need to do, for your new furniture, the new big screen TV you're about to have put in. You want to make sure you have enough funds to buy all that. You don't want to save your $16,000 for a down payment and then you're just praying for a really dope housewarming party to get everything else. All right. So I say save 5% just so you have extra wiggle room. Now, your sophomore year, if you start as a freshman, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, you should purchase or rent out the rooms to your friends and other students. So freshman year, I told my dad, I was like, hey dad, I think we should buy a house in Davis. Right? We should buy a house. I'll be the manager, I'll rent it out, and then I have to pay rent anyway. It just makes sense. Unfortunately, the king said no. He was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. We're not gonna do that. Davis, whatever. You want to say it, Kel? Is crazy, right? Real estate went crazy. So TH4 specifically, right? 640 Adams Street. In 2013, I believe, that house was worth $860,000. Right? You can go on Zillow, you can check the address. It was worth like $860. It doubled in 2017, I believe, to like 1.4, 1.5 million. So if we would have bought that house, and that was a fourplex, if we would have bought that house, TH4, the Sigma house, I don't know if it's still the Sigma house, but back in the day it was a Sigma house, we would have had $800,000 of equity by the time I graduated, right? So even if we went in all together, the four of us who originally went in, rented that house, that's $200,000 of equity for each of us if we sold outright. If we would have kept it, that's money that would have, kept going in through rent, but the equity would have been solid. So I say this to say, if you, and Brother Tremaine said this earlier, if you buy near a college, that equity is going to go up. So think about a Davis, think about a Riverside, think about a UC Merced, where real estate's still cheap, and I'm probably going to buy there in the next year or two. Think about UC Merced or other colleges that maybe are on the up and up. And as more students, as more international and out-of-state students come in and they bring their money, they bring their wealth, you're able to capture that wealth because you bought a house early. Okay? Any nuggets folks want to talk about on real estate before I keep it pushing? Okay. Go ahead and put your top, you can put top 2 cities or 3. If you go ahead and put top 3 cities you would like to own real estate in. Go ahead and put that in the chat. 3 cities you are looking at buying real estate in. All right. So I know for me, it'll be Riverside, Chicago, and probably Durham. I would consider Atlanta, maybe like the outskirts of Atlanta, but I'm interested to see what y'all got. Detroit, yeah, Detroit's a good one. It's cheap in Detroit. Atlanta, Houston's dope, nice. Savannah, Georgia, nice. Savannah's nice, it is. All right, we'll keep it going. Number 3 on the list is investing in the stock market. I feel like I've probably overtalked so far, so we're running out of time. So I'll go through real quickly. You can passively invest or actively invest. By passively, you can literally set like, $200 a month goes towards the stock market. You can do a specific ETF or a mutual fund. You can do an index fund, or you can do specific stocks like buy $200 worth of Apple every single month. Or you can be a little bit more active, and every single day or every single week you're going in, you're seeing what stocks are doing good, you're researching, you're reading Reddit and watching YouTube, all the stuff that folks do to research, and then you're literally picking your stocks every single time. Either way is fine. The Robinhood app is a free way to do it. There's E-Trade, there's Ameritrade, there's all types of different things that you can do. Recently I've been into Robinhood just because it's easy and it's right on the phone and they send you updates. Acorns is another good app that automatically deposits some transaction differences in your card to purchase stocks as well. All right. How many of y'all would want $1 million if there was some way you could guarantee, and I put air quotes around the guarantee just so I don't get in trouble, but there was some way to guarantee you would get $1 million, would you be down to do it? I see Jai with the, yeah, I'll give it a try for sure. All right. No one else seems that excited. All right, it's just me and you, Jai, for sure. Oh, Jalen gave the head nod. Okay, cool. Yusuf a little bit. Is that Marco over there? Marco gave the head nod. All right, Markel, yes. All right, see you. All right, for sure. Let's keep it going. So it's pretty easy, right? Easy is a strong word because you definitely need the knowledge, but it's pretty easy. If you want $1 million, here is the exact way to do it. You start an investment account and you put $1,000 in that investment account, right? Then every single week you contribute $100. That's $400 per month. All right, so maybe this is a plan that you do right when you get your first job automatically, so you guarantee $1 million, or this can be something you start today if you would like to. You need to get a rate of return of 10%. That's 3% over how the market performs typically, but there's ways that you can get 10% return. And then you need to do this for 30 years. $1,000 starter, only $100 per week. If you want to increase that, it will be less years. 10% return, kind of hard to guarantee a higher than 10% return, but if you know some folks, if Ocean Tola wants to work some stuff, if Owner Power got some cool stocks for us, hey, more power to them. And then you do this for 30 years and you will have $1 million and $1,009,000 in that investment account. Right. So most of y'all are in your 20s. So you'll be 55 with a guaranteed $1 million that you can give to your kid. You can buy a house. You can buy an island in Canada in some places for $1 million. Yep, Jai, I've looked. All right. So think about this as just one possible way of building wealth, guaranteed generational wealth for your folks. All right. The last one is intellectual property. Anyone want to kind of brag about their knowledge and go through the types of intellectual property there are? None of y'all know. All y'all business owners out here, none of y'all know. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's why y'all pay me the big bucks to come on in here. So number one, which I hope most of our business owners on here have, is a trademark. Right. So the trademark is really your way of saying this product comes from this particular company, this particular pace. Nike, trademark. McDonald's, trademark. Black Wall Street, the board game, trademark. Rare X, trademark. Right. So you want to make sure the source of your materials has a particular place. That way it is trusted and is known. So please trademark your brand. Number two, copyright. Right. So if you write books, if you make beats, I know some of y'all make beats. If you do photography and videography, Jalen, if you do podcasting or all that type of stuff, you want to get the copyrights to your stuff. That way, in case someone wants to make a copy of your picture, they need to pay you. If they want to make a copy of the ebook or the physical book that you wrote, they need to pay you. If you made a dope beat and someone takes it off of YouTube and you didn't copyright it, they can make as much money as they want with that beat. But if you copyrighted it, now you get all the YouTube money, you get all the Spotify money, you get all the iTunes money. All right. So definitely copyright. And then lastly is a patent. Now I haven't done a patent yet. It's on my list for this year, but a patent is, let's see, an example of a patent would be this camera, right? You design or write out the plan for a camera. You design the plan for a phone, for a pencil, chopsticks are patented. Whatever is a unique idea and has a unique design can be patented, right? So technically the board game, the next edition that we're working on, shout out to Rare X, shout out to Warkel, Masterpiece Edition's coming soon. Get money, Masterpiece. That board game can for sure be patented because it has a very unique design to it, right? So think about how you can patent things. The reason why you want to gain intellectual property, and shout out to Nipsey, right? If you own the masters, if you own the intellectual property, you now can license and distribute and give other people the right to use it for a cut, right? So again, music, you make a dope song and it gets 5 million streams on YouTube. It gets 10 million streams on Spotify. If you don't own that, Sony Records gets all of that. Capitol Records gets all of that. Whatever other record company get all of that. But if you own the rights to it, now Spotify is paying you for the right to be able to distribute your music. YouTube is paying you for the rights to be able to distribute your music, right? So you want to make sure you own as much intellectual property as possible. That way, as more people want to share and be a part of your excellence, you get paid for it. All right. I'm going to skip business models for the sake of time, but richest man, richest person ever is who? I know y'all know this.
Manso Musa, right?
Come on, King. I see you. Yes. Manso Musa, the richest man, worth, I believe it was like $400 billion, right? If you add up some of the assets, not even all of them, just some of them. But Manso Musa, first things first, he inherited his kingdom. I think that part is sometimes left out of the legend because it doesn't sound as cool. But Mansa Musa had an uncle, Mansa Abubakari, and he was the king of Mali. And he passed down his throne to his nephew. And that's where his wealth started. He didn't start from zero. But what he did was he did expand the empire. He had a very specific goal. He wanted to increase global and local trade. So he made the trade route safer. So Europeans, the Chinese folks, the Muslim folks, everyone coming in felt safe on the trade routes and they weren't getting robbed. Number two, he made sure that he had ownership and control of all the natural resources, the salt, the animals, the gold. He even brought in some special horses that only, his army was able to use these special Sudanese horses. So he was controlling a lot of the rights for certain purposes. And then three, he built schools, mosques, and like really unified and urbanized Mali so that the wealth can continue to grow. The more roads you have, the more educated people you have, the more people that can read, that can do business, that can barter, the more wealth that would come to Manso Musa because he owned everything, right? Now, unfortunately, after his death, his descendants, they fought over who should be the rightful king, and they fought over who should have what assets, right? So it was split up amongst them, and within one generation, their whole family had no more money. So I put this in here for the sake of remembering the wealthiest person in the world, one, inherited his wealth and learned how to expand it. But almost more importantly, he never had the opportunity to legitimately pass down his wealth. And that wealth is now no longer in his family. It's not gone, because I mean, there's wealth throughout Mali, throughout Ghana, throughout Nigeria, but he didn't have any control over passing down that wealth. So these are the 4 ways that you can transfer wealth to the next generation. Number 1, if you have a job and that you have a 401k, you need to definitely make sure, and not knock on wood that you don't really have to do this, but in case, you just want to put a beneficiary on there. It can be your wife, it can be your parents, it can be one of your siblings. You can put whoever you want, but in case something ever happens to you while you're working, if you don't have a beneficiary, your job is going to take that money back. Right? You've been working for 10 years, 15 years. You might have $200,000 saved in a 401k and you have no beneficiary. That money doesn't go anywhere, right? So you want to make sure you put a beneficiary. Number 2, life insurance. This is something I'm about to do this year, but you want to make sure what happens to you, $1 million life insurance on my flesh. You want to make sure if anything happens to you, your family is taken care of. This can be term insurance, this can be whole life insurance, this can be converted insurance, whatever it is. But you want to purchase some life insurance. That way, anything happens, your kids get some money. This may be too early for y'all, but you can also get life insurance on your kids. So your kid comes in 1 year old, you can purchase life insurance for them. And then when they get 18, there can be a cash value for that life insurance so that they can use it for college. They can use it to buy their first home. They can use it to buy their car. They can use it to start their business. But you need to give them a life insurance policy. And the earlier, the better, because usually the healthier you are and the younger you are, the cheaper your policy is. All right. Number 3, you want to create a will, or more specifically, a will. A will is cool, but you want to create a trust. A trust is a living organization, very similar to a corporation, but it holds all of your assets. Have y'all saw what's that series called? Is it called Trust? No, there was a series like back in the day that was called, not back in the day, it was like literally 3 years ago, called Trust, going over the Getty family and how they built their empire off of a trust and dodge all types of taxes and stuff. It's interesting. That and Billions, interesting money shows. But you want to build a trust. That way you can say, okay, Play Black Wall Street is in the trust. All the intellectual property that Play Black Wall Street owns is in the trust. True Forever is in the trust. The house in the trust. All my gold in the trust. Literally everything that you own, you put this in this trust, and you can give specific instructions, right? The house goes to my son when he turns 25. My wedding ring goes to my son when he wants to propose to somebody. My house goes to my daughter when she gets married and wants to move into a house. You can set instructions so that when you pass away, your lawyer or whoever is the trustee knows exactly what to do with your estate. And then lastly, go ahead, Jai.
How would one like even know where to start as far as building a trust? Like, is there a certain Like, is there companies that you go to, or like you said, I remember you said trustee, as far as like maybe somebody on the legal side. Is there like a certain lawyer you go to? How does that work?
Great question. So yeah, you want to go to a lawyer. The lawyers are who sets up the trust. It's not something that you go to the Secretary of State to do, like an LLC. It's kind of separated, but treated similar. But yeah, you want to go directly to a lawyer and say, hey, I'm trying to set up a trust. Let me know the steps I can go through, and they'll be able to help you out.
All right, bet.
Good question. And then last but not least, 529 accounts. This is, again, maybe too early for y'all, but let's go ahead and plant these seeds and they'll grow later on. But a 529 account is an educational account that you can contribute to that also grows investment interest, right? So these are pre-tax dollars that, as long as you use them for education, will not be taxed. So again, as soon as your kid gets born, this is what we're going to do. As soon as we have a kid, start a 529 account under their name. Start contributing $100, $200, $300, whatever you're able to do. And then after 18 years of that contribution, they're going to have a solid $50,000, $200,000 in this account that they can now use to pay for tuition. And y'all know tuition's only going up. 100%, like without a doubt, tuition is 100% going up. So the more that you can invest for the future, especially pre-tax dollars, the more you're going to end up saving in the future. Okay. So almost to the end of it. Thank you for the picture for the Snapchat, Cal. So this is a really good book, The Wealth Choice. And this goes through 9 disciplines that the wealthy have. All right. And what I want y'all to do is look at these disciplines as I kind of go through them and put in the chat which one you already have naturally, which one you 100% embody. I do this in my sleep. This is me. Right. I want you to define that. So the 9 different disciplines of wealth, as outlined in the Wealth Choice, is 1, passion and clear goals. You love what you're doing and you have a very clear destination on where you are going. Number 2, highly motivated or a self-starter. No one needs to give you instructions. No one needs to give you directions. You are just every day, you're grinding, you're working, you're a self-starter. Number 3, you have a strong work ethic or you're action focused, right? You can be tired, but still getting work done. You're the person in meeting where people are just kind of talking. You're like, so what are the action items? What are we doing? Let's move this forward. Number 4, you are a creative or an innovative person. Business ideas, designs, logos, graphic, things just come into your head naturally without you even having to think. You are a creative individual and innovative. Number 5, you never, this is a really good one. You never consider the possibility of failure. No matter what happens, your Kickstarter failed, oh well, you can still push through. You have no money, oh well, you can still push through. You just, whatever happens, you never even consider the possibility that your end goal is not possible. Number 6, you are quick to absorb and, more importantly, apply information, right? You can read The Wealth Choice and start making actual decisions in building wealth. You can read Think and Go Rich and start making decisions. You can, be in an organic chemistry class and all of a sudden, the formula to save life, whatever it is, right? Number 7, sales. This is one that I struggle with. I'm trying to get better, but this is sales. You have no problem selling yourself. You have no problem asking for how much you're truly worth, Jalen, and you're able to sell your gift, sell your product out there confidently. Number 8, you are frugal in nature. You just, your kind of natural inclination is to save, which can definitely help. I see you, Jai. That can definitely help in investing in the future. If naturally you love to save, you're doing coupons, you got deals, you're doing all types of stuff. And then lastly, strong faith and spirituality. In no particular religion, but you just have this crazy faith in yourself, this crazy faith in the goal, in the dream, and you will not be shaken by the barriers that may come to you. All right. These are the 9 disciplines. Go ahead and put inside the chat which one you naturally have. So let's see. Passion and clear goals. Love it, Tremaine. I see you. All right. So the point of this is to, we started with mindset, right? We kind of started with the affirmations. We started with kind of priming your mind to accept wealth. This is supposed to affirm that you already have what it takes to be wealthy. right? You don't need all 9 of these disciplines to build wealth. You just need one. So the fact that, you know, you already have passion and clear goals, you are mentally wealthy. It's just a matter of time before that wealth finds you, right? Strong work ethic. You are already wealthy. It's just a matter of time before you and wealth shake hands and connect, right? So I want you to define which one is the naturally yours, and then lean into that one. Once you know you have strong work ethic, dope. Dive in, get to work, get your wealth. Once you know you have passion and clear goals, what is that passion? What are those clear goals? And hit the road, get to work. Oops. So that's what we got. We can open up for a nice open discussion, whether it's something that you learned and you want to share, whether it's something that you have a question about, or you want to give your own nuggets of wisdom. We'll go ahead and open it up. We can stay connected. Follow us on Play Black Wall Street on Instagram. And we also have our YouTube channel where we go over every single week how to live your best life, whether it's health, wealth, mindset, all that good stuff. Definitely tap in with us. And I will put the document one more time in here. We made a wealth document for you all that has additional activities, links to resources, and all that good stuff. So I'll put it inside the chat so you can download at your leisure. But I'll pass it back to Brother Yusuf or whoever has things that they want to discuss.
What about a Roth IRA?
Yes, Roth IRAs are good. I don't have a lot of knowledge on Roths, but to my knowledge, those are after tax dollars, and they're really good, especially for entrepreneurs. So like if you are self-employed, right, and you don't have a 401k because you don't have a job, you can do a Roth IRA, and it's a good way to build your wealth. Secondly, your 401k, like you're going to max out on how much you can put into a 401k. And if you big balling, I know you're an engineer, so very soon you probably going to be making some good money. You might max out on your 401k so you can still invest your money in a Roth IRA at the same time.
Okay, for sure. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Other questions or statements, nuggets of wisdom? No, good. Okay, I put
actually one thing real quick. Just one thing we didn't mention earlier, or I didn't mention earlier. As far as a nugget, make sure you have a team around you, a good solid team, people to rely on, people to keep you accountable. That's huge. That's something I've learned in college. Just throw that out there.
Yeah, good point, Jai. Thanks for sharing that. So I just put the document inside the chat. Y'all should be able to open that up, download it, use it at your leisure. Again, some good activities in there to kind of maybe help you find what your superpower is, help you find what your niche or your skill is, and then a nice visual outline on how you can plan out building your business or tune up how your business is operating. And then, of course, some links to some books and all that good stuff in there as well. But I appreciate the time. I'll pass it back over to Brother Yusuf. LK all day. I see y'all. Much love.
Thank you. The document is not in the chat. I just checked.
He just dropped it in there right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate like you tuning into the event. Just take these gems and like move on with your business and like with your family and create generational wealth. Thank you all for coming.